The seasons, they come and go and taste great as they should. But what most forget is that the seasons would never be able to do more than they could.
BTSW speaks.
What's this? 5 lines? I don't know if you consider this a iambic pentameter or a haiku or one of those. It's a poetic technique. I don't know. I was trying to rhyme and stuff and be clever. What I am simply saying here is that a lot of people say seasons as a metaphor for different times in your life, different situations. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're in, sometimes you're out. You know, they say life is a roller coaster, right? You have all kind of different moods and different times. You know, you wouldn't appreciate the good without the bad. You wouldn't appreciate the happy without the sad, all of that good stuff. Great. We as Christians in the church and stuff, a lot of people, we say, you know, that's just a season. And it wasn't your season. It wasn't your time to shine, right? You know, there's so many phrases that basically mean and saying the same thing, right? Which is the seasons, they come and they go and they do what they could, but they can't do more than they could, right? The fact that we call them seasons is because that's what they do. They come and they go. That's what makes them a season. You got winter, summer, spring, fall, and then you have like the micro seasons or whatever the phrase is nowadays. You have different times of the year. You have different times of people's lives. You have different times of relationships. There's different seasons in everything. And in those seasons, you have to understand that these seasons can only do what they could, which is come and go. You have to let them do that. But what most people fail, or what most people fail at, they fail at realizing that the seasons cannot do more than they could. In other words, you can't be happy all the time. You can't be sad all the time. You can't be mad all the time. You can't let certain things become a part of your personality just because you wish that you would have one season for the rest of your life. You can't have everything all at once all the time forever. It doesn't. Maybe it makes sense to you, but that don't make sense. What I said here though, and obviously this is why I said it, because, well, the seasons, they come and they go as they should, because that's what seasons do. But they could never do more than they could. As Pastor Flowers once said, if you are experiencing sunshine all the time, the only place where there is sunshine all the time is the desert. You know what is not in the desert? Food. So no one really want to live out there, right? You can't have sunlight, you can't have sunshine and all of that good stuff all the time. But you also can't live in the valley where it's always rainy and there's always a river, and the river level, the water level is always rising and decreasing. You can't even build a house down there. What you want is to have a balance of everything. In other words, you can't expect the seasons to do more than they actually could. That ain't right. It don't make sense. Listen, maybe this don't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me.